William Henry Gates, born October 28, 1955, is an American businessman and philanthropist best known for his roles at Microsoft Corporation. He co-founded the software company with his children friend Paul Allen and later held the position of chairman, chief executive officer, CEO, president, and chief software architect. He was also being its largest individual shareholder until May 2014. He was a pioneer of the macrocomputer revolution of the 1970s and 1980s. Education: Harvard University dropout. Occupation: businessman, philanthropist, computer programmer, writer. Gates was born and raised in Seattle, Washington in 1975. He and Allen founded Microsoft in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Gates led the company as its chairman and chief executive officer until stepping down as CEO in January 2000, succeeded by Steve Ballmer, but he remained chairman of the board of directors and became chief software architect. During the late 1990s, he was criticized for his business tactics, which were considered anti-competitive. In June 2008, Gates transitioned into a part-time role at Microsoft and full-time work at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the private charitable foundation he and his then wife Mandela had established in 2000. He stepped down as chairman of the company board in February 2014 and assumed the role of technology advisor to support newly appointed CEO Satya Nadella. In March 2020, Gates left his board position at Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway to focus on his philanthropic effort on climate change, global health and development, and education. Since 1987, Gates has been included in the Forbes list of the world's top billionaires. From 1995 to 2017, he held the title of the wealthiest person in the world every year except in 2008 and from 2010 to 2013. In 1999, he became the first ever constant billionaire when his net worth briefly surpassed 100 billion. Since leaving day-to-day operation at Microsoft in 2008, Gates has pursued other business and philanthropic endeavors. He is the founder and chairman of several companies including BEN, Cascade Investment, Terraform, Gate Venture, and Breakthrough Energy. He has donated to various charitable organizations and scientific research programs throughout the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, reported to be the world's largest private charity. Throughout the foundation, he led an early 21st century vacation campaign that significantly contributed to the eradication of the wild polyvirus in Africa. In 2010, Gates and Warren Buffett founded the Giving Pledge, whereby they and other billionaires pledge to give at least half of their wealth toward philanthropy. William Henry Gates III was born on October 28, 1955 in Seattle, Washington, as the only son of William S. Gates Sr. 1925 to 2020 and his first wife Mary Maxwell Gates 1929 to 1994. His ancestry include English, German, and Irish, Scottish, Irish. His father was a prominent lawyer and his mother served on the board of directors of First Interstate Bank System and United Way of America. Gates' maternal grandfather J.W. Maxwell was a National Bank president. He also has an older sister, Christy, and a younger sister, Libby. He is the fourth of his name in his family but is known as William Gates III or Trey because his father and the two suffix. The family lived in the Sandpoint area of Seattle in a home that was damaged by a rare tornado when Gates was 7. When Gates was young, his parents wanted him to pursue a career in law. During his childhood, his family regularly attended a church of the Congregational Christian Church, a Protestant Reformed denomination. Gates was small for his age and was bullied as a child. The family encouraged competition. One visitor reported that I didn't matter whether it was hard or pickleball or swimming to the dock. There was always a reward for winning, and there was always a penalty for losing. At age 13, he enrolled in the private Lakeside Private School, where he wrote his first software program. When he was in 8th grade, the Mother Club at the school used proceeds from Lakeside School room's sale to buy a teletype Model 33S ASR terminal and a block of computer time on a General Electronics GE computer for the student. Gates took an interest in programming the GE system in basic, and he was excused from math classes to pursue his interest. He wrote his first computer program on this machine, an implementation of tic-tac-toe that allowed users to play game against the computer. Gates was fascinated by the machine and how it would always execute software code perfectly. After the Mother Club donation was Gates and other students sought time on systems including the USD PDP microcomputer. One of those systems was a PDP-10 belonging to Computer Center Corporation Triple-C, which banned Gates, Paul Allen, Rick Wieland, and Gates' best friend and first business partner Kent even for the summer after it caught them exploiting bugs in the operating system of obtain free computer time. The four students formed the Lakeside Programmer Club to make money. At the end of the ban, they offered to find bugs in CCC software in exchange for extra computer time. Rather than using the system remotely by teletype, Gates went to CCC office and started source code for various programs that run on the system, including Fortran, Lisp, and machine language. The arrangement with Triple C continued until 1917 when the company went out of business. The following year, a Lakeside teacher enlisted Gates and Evans to automate the school class scheduling system, providing them computer time and royalties in return. The dev worked diligently in order to have the program ready for their senior year. Toward the end of their junior year, Evans was killed in a mountain climbing incident which Gates described as one of the saddest days of his life. He then turned to Allen, who helped him finish the system for Lakeside. At 17, Gates formed a venture with Allen called Traf-O Data to make traffic counter based on the Intel 8008 processor in 1972. He served as a congressional pace in the House of Representatives. He was a National Merit Scholar when he graduated from Lakeside School in 1973. He scored 1519 out of 60,600, won the Scholastic Aptitude Test (SAT) and enrolled at Harvard College in the autumn of 1973. He did not stay at Harvard long enough to choose a concentration, but took machines including Math 55 and graduate level computer science course while at Harvard. He met fellow student and future Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer. Gates left Harvard after 2 years while Ballmer stayed and graduate magna cum laude. Year later, Ballmer succeeded Gates as software CEO and maintained that position from 2000 until his resignation in 2014. Gates devised an algorithm for pancake sorting as a solution to one of a series of unsolved problems presented in a combinatorics class by Professor Harry Lewis. His solution held the record at the fastest version for over 13 years, and its successor is faster by only 2%. His solution was formalized and published in collaboration with Harvard computer scientist Chirotos. Gates remained in contact with Paul Allen and joined him at Honeywell during the summer of 1974. In 1975, the MIT's Altair 8800 was released based on the Intel 8080 CPU, and Gates and Allen saw the opportunity to start their own computer software company. Gates dropped out of Harvard that same year. His parents were supportive of him after seeing how much he wanted to start his own company. He explained his decision to leave Harvard. If things hadn't worked out, I could always go back to school. I was officially on leave. Gates read the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics, which demonstrated the Altair 8800 and contacted Micro Instrumentation and Telemetry System (MITS) to inform them that he and others were working on a basic interpreter for the platform. In reality, Gates and Allen did not have an Altair and had not written code for it. They merely wanted to gauge MIT's interest. MIT's President E.D. Robert agreed to meet them for a demonstration, and over the course of a few weeks, they developed an Altair emulator, then ran on a mini computer, and then the basic interpreter. The demonstration was held at MIT's office in New Mexico. It was a success and resulted in a deal with MITS to distribute the interpreter as Altair Basic. MITS hired Allen, and Gates took a leave of absence from Harvard to work with him at MITS in November 1975. Allen named their partnership Microsoft at a combination of mini computer and software, and their first office was in LBQ. The first employee Gates and Allen hired was their high school collaborator Rick Wieland. They dropped the hyphen within a year and officially resigned the trade name Microsoft. With the Secretary of the State of New Mexico on November 26, 1976, Gates never returned to Harvard to complete his studies. Microsoft Ltr Basic was popular with computer hobbyists, but Gates discovered that a pre-market copy had leaked out and was being widely copied and distributed. In February 1976, he wrote an open letter to hobbyists in the MIT's newsletter in which he asserted that more than 19% of the users of Microsoft LTR Basic had not paid Microsoft for it, and the LTR hobby market was in danger of eliminating the incentive for any professional developer to product, distribute, and maintain high quality software. This letter was unpopular with many computer hobbyists, but Gates persisted in his belief and software developers should be able to demand payment. Software Microsoft became independent of MITS in late 1976, and it continued to develop programming language software for various systems. The company moved from LBQRQ to Bellevue, Washington on January 1, 1979. Gates said he personally reviewed and often rewrote every line of code that the company produced in its first 5 years. As the company grew, he transitioned into a manager role, then an executive donkey based in a computer game written in 1981 and included with early version of the PC DOS operation system distributed with the original IBM PC. It is a driving game in which the player must avoid hitting donkey. The game was written by Gates and Neil Conzen. IBM partnership. IBM, the leading supplier of computer equipment to commercial enterprise at the time, approached Microsoft in July 1980 concerning software for its upcoming personal computer, the IBM PC. After Gates' mother mentioned Microsoft to John Opel, IBM then CEO, IBM first proposed that Microsoft wrote the basic interpreter. IBM representative also maintained that they needed an operation system, and Gates referred them to Digital Research DRI marker of the widely used CPU became operating system. IBM discussion with Digital Research went poorly and they did not reach a license agreement. IBM representative Jack Sams mentioned the licensing difficulties during a subsequent meeting with Gates and asked if Microsoft could provide an operating system. A few weeks later, Gates and Allen proposed using 86 DOS, an operating system similar to CPU-M that Tim Peterson of Settle Computer Product SCP had made for hardware similar to the PC. Software made a deal with SCP to be the executive licensing agent of 86 DOS and later the full Warner. Microsoft employed Peterson to adapt the operating system for the PC and delivered it to IBM as PC DOS for a one-time fee of $50,000. The contract itself only earned Microsoft a relatively small fee. It was the prestige brought to Microsoft by IBM adoption of their operating system that would be one the reason of Microsoft transformation from a small business to the leading software company in the world. Gates had not offered to transfer the copyright on the operating system to IBM because they believed that other personal computer maker would clone IBM PC hardware. They did, making the IBM compatible PC running DOS a de facto standard. The sale of MS-DOS, the version of DOS sold to customer other than IBM, made Microsoft a major player in the industry. The press quickly identified Microsoft as being very influential on the IBM PC. PC Magazine asked if Gates was the man behind the machine. Gates oversaw Microsoft company restructuring on June 25, 1981, who is incorporated the company in Washington State and made Gates the president and chairman of the board, with Paul Allen as vice president and vice chairman. In early 1983, Allen left the company after receiving a Hodgkin lymphoma diagnosis, effectively ending the formal business partnership between Gates and Allen, which had been estranged mother period due to the contentious dispute over Microsoft equity. Later in the decade, Gates repaired his relationship with Allen, and together the two donated million to their children's school Lakeside. They remained friends until Allen's death in October 2018. Windows, Microsoft, and Gates launched their first retail version of Microsoft Windows on November 20, 1985, in an attempt to fend off competition from Apple Macintosh GUI, which had captivated consumers with its simplicity and ease of use. In August 1968, the company struck a deal with IBM to develop a separate operating system called OS-2. Although the two companies successfully developed the first version of the new system, the partnership determinated due to mounting creating differences. The operating system grew out of DOS in an organic fashion over a decade until Windows 95, which did the DOS prompt. By default, Windows XP was released 1 year after Gates stepped down as Microsoft CEO. Windows 8.1 was the last version of the OS released before Gates left the chair of the firm to John W. Thompson on February 5, 2014. Management style during Microsoft's early years. Gates was an active software developer, particularly in the company's programming language product, but his primary role in most of the company history was a manager and executive. He has not officially been on in development them since working on the TRS-18 Model 100, but he wrote code that shipped with the company product as late as 1989. Jerry Pournelle wrote in 1985 when Gates announced Microsoft Excel. Bill Gates liked the program not because it's going to make him a lot of money, although I am sure it will do that, but because it's neat hack. During the late 1990s, he was criticized for his business tactics, which were considered anti-competitive. This opinion has been upheld by numerous court Rowling. In June 2006, Gates announced that he would transition out of his role at Microsoft to dedicate more time to philanthropy. He gradually divided his responsibilities between two successors when he placed Raw Ozai in charge of management and Chris Mundai in charge of long-term product strategy. The process took 2 years to fully transfer his duties to Ozai and Mundai and was completed on June 27, 2008. Since leaving day-to-day operation at Microsoft, Gates has continued his philanthropy and work on other projects. He stepped down as chairman of Microsoft in February 2014 to become technology advisor at the firm to support newly appointed CEO Satya Nadella. Gates provided his representative on a range of issues in an interview that was published in the March 2014 issue of Rolling Stone magazine. In the interview, he provided his perspective on climate change, his charitable activities, various state companies and people involved in them, and the state of America in response to a question about his greatest fear when he looks 15 years into the future. Gates state there will be some really bad things that happen in the next 15 or 100 years, but hopefully none of them on the scale of a million people that you didn't expect to die from a pandemic or a nuclear or bioterrorism. Gate was to identify innovation as the real driver of programs and pronounced that Americans way better today than it's ever been. Gates has open expressed concern about the potential harm of superintelligence in a Reddit Ask Me Anything. He studies that first the machine will do a lot of jobs for us and not be superintelligence. That should be positive if we manage it well. A few decades after that thought, the intelligence is strong enough to be a concern. I agree with Elon Musk and some other on this and don't understand why some people are not concerned. In an interview that was held at the TED conference in March 2015 with Baidu co-founder and CEO Robin Lai, Gates said he would highly recommend Nick Bostrom's recent work Superintelligence Part Dancer Strategies. During the conference, Gates warned that the world was not prepared for the next pandemic, a situation that would come to pass in late 2019 when the COVID-19 pandemic began. In March 2018, Gates met at his home in Seattle with Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince and de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, to discuss investment opportunities for Saudi Vision 2030. In June 2019, Gates admitted that losing the mobile operating system race to Android was his biggest mistake. He stated that it was within their skill set of being the dominant player, but partly blamed the antitrust litigation during the time. That same year, Gates became an advisory board member of the Bloomberg New Economy Forum. In March 2020, Microsoft announced that Gates would be leaving his board position at Berkshire Hathaway and Microsoft to dedicate himself to philanthropic endeavors such as climate change. global health and development and education. The Wall Street Journal reported in May 2021 that Gates stopped down before Microsoft board finished its investigation into Gates' Allen inappropriate sexual relationship with a Microsoft employee who is an external law firm had begun probing in late 2019. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Gates has widely been looked at by media outlets as an expert on the issue despite him not being a public official or having any prior medical training. His foundation did, however, establish the COVID-19 pandemic therapeutics accelerator in 2022, harvest the development and evaluation of new and repurposed drugs and biologics to treat patients for COVID-19, and as of February 2021, Gates expressed that he and Anthony Fauci frequently talk and collaborate on matters include vaccine and other medical innovation to fight the pandemic. Business venture and investment. Gates has a multi-billion-dollar investment portfolio of stake in companies in multiple sectors and has participated in several entrepreneurial ventures behind Microsoft, including AutoNation, an automobile retailer who is traded on the NYSE and in which Gates has a 16% stake. Climate change and energy. Gates consider climate change and global access to energy to become critical interrelated issue. He has argued government and the private sector to invest in research and development to make clean, reliable energy. Chapter Gates envisioned that a breakthrough innovation in sustainable energy technology could drive down both greenhouse gas emission and poverty and bring economic benefit by establishing energy price. In 2011, he said, if you gave me the choice between picking the next 10 president or ensuring that energy is environmentally friendly and a quarter as costly, I didn't pick the energy thing. In 2015, he wrote about the challenge of transition the world energy system from one based primarily on fossil fuel to one of based on sustainable energy source. Global energy transition have historically taken decades, he wrote. I believe we can make this transition faster both because the pace of innovation is accelerating and because we have never had such an urgent reason to move from one source of energy to another. This rapid transition, according to Gates, would depend on increased government funding for basic research and financially risky private sector investment to enable innovation in diverse areas such as nuclear energy, grid energy, storage to facilitate greater use of solar and wind energy and solar fuel. Gates spearheaded two initiatives that he announced at the 2015 United Nations Climate Change Conference in Paris. One was Mission Innovation, in which 20 national governments pledged to double their spending on research and development for carbon-free energy in over 5-year time. Another initiative was Breakthrough Energy, a group of investors who agreed to fund high-risk startup in clean energy technologies. Gates, who had already invested $1 billion of his own money in innovation energy startup, committed a further $1 billion to Breakthrough Energy. In December 2020, he called for the U.S. federal government to create Institute for Clean Energy Research alongside to the National Institute of Health. Gates has also argued rich national to shift to 100% synthetic beef industries to reduce greenhouse gas emission from food production. Gates has been criticized for holding a large stake in Signature Aviation, a company that services emission-intensive private jet. In 2019, he began to divest from fossil fuel. He does not expect this divestment itself to have much practical impact, but says that if his effort to private alternative were to fail, he would not want to personally benefit from an increase in fossil fuel stock price. After he published his book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, part of the climate activist community criticized Gates' approach as technological solution. In 2022, educational streamer Windriam product the series Solving for Zero, the search for climate innovation inspired by the book. In June 2021, Gates company TerraPower and Warren Buffett Pacific Corp announced the first sodium nuclear reaction in Wyoming. Wyoming Governor Mike Gordon hailed the project as a step forward carbon negative nuclear power. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso also said that it could boost the state once active uranium mining industry. Political position. In October 2024, the New York Times reported Gates has recently donated $15 million to Future Forward USA Action, a 501c4 organization supporting Kamala Harris' 2024 presidential campaign. In response to the report, he did not explicitly address the donation or endorse Harris, but said this election is different. Regulation of the software industry. In 1998, Gates rejected the need for regulation of the software industry in a testimony before the United States Senate during the Federal Trade Commission FTC investigation of software in the 1990s. Gates was reportedly upset at then Commissioner Dennis Yo for float a line of hypothetical questions suggesting possible carbon or Microsoft growing monopoly power. According to one source, Gates was vexed. He started by calling your idea socialistic, recalled a source familiar with the July 15 meeting, and as he got angrier and louder he got into calling the communist Donald Trump Facebook ban. After Facebook and Twitter had banned Donald Trump from their platform on February 18, 2021 as a result of the 2020 United States presidential election, which led to the January 6 United States Capitol attack. Gates said a permanent ban of Trump would be a shame and would be an extreme measure. He warned that it would cause polarization if users with different political view divided up among various social networks, and said, I didn't think banning somebody who actually did get a fair number of votes in the presidential election with less than a majority, but I didn't think having him off forever would be then good. Philanthropy. Gates studies the work of Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller and donated some of his Microsoft stock in 1994 to create the William H. Gates Foundation in 2000. Gates and his wife combined three family foundation and donate a stock value valued at 5 billion to create the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which was identified by the Fund for NGO Company in 2013 as the world's largest charitable foundation with assets reportedly valued at more than 34.6 billion. The foundation allows benefactors to access information that show how its money is being spent, unlike other major charitable organizations such as the Wellcome Trust. Gates, through his foundation, also donated 20 million to the Carnegie Mellon University for a new building to be named Gates Center for Computer Science, which opened in 2009. Gates has credited the generosity and extensive philanthropy of David Rockefeller as a major influence. He and his father met with Rockefeller several times, and their charity work is partly modeled on the Rockefeller family philanthropic focus, whereby they are interested in tackling the global problems that are ignored by government and other organizations. The foundation is organized into five program area: Global Development Division, Global Health Division, United States Division, and Global Policy and Advocacy Division. Among other, it supported a wide range of public health projects, granting aid to fight transmissible diseases such as AIDS, malaria, as well as West Paris program to indicate polio. Melinda Gates suggested that people should emulate the philanthropic effort of the Saldwin family, who sold their home and gave away half of its value, as details in their book The Power of Half. Gates and his wife invited John Selwyn to Salem to speak about what the family had done, and on December 9, 2010, Bill and Melinda Gates and investor Warren Buffett signed a commitment they call the Giving Pledge, which is a commitment by all three to donate at least half of their wealth over the course of time to charity. The donation has received criticized, particularly over its role in Common Core, with critics stating the support is chronist in that it profits from the federal, state, and local contract. In 1987, Gates was listed as a billionaire in Forbes magazine first ever American research issue. He was the world's youngest ever self-made billionaire with a net worth of 1.25 billion. Since then, he has been featured on the world billionaire list and was ranked as the richest person in 1995, 1996, 1998 to 2007 and 2009, maintaining the position until 2018 when Jeff Bezos surpassed his wealth. Gates was ranked first one of the Forbes 400 list of wealthiest Americans from 1997 to 2007. In 2009 and from 2014 to 2017, as of June 2024, he has an estimated net worth of 154 billion, making him the sixth richest person in the world according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. Gates' wealth briefly surpassed US 100 billion in 1999, making him the first person to reach this net worth after 2000. The nominal value of his Microsoft holding declined partly because of the decline in Microsoft stock price after the dot-com Babel bust, and partly because of the multi-billion-dollar donation he had made to his charitable foundation in May 2006. Gates remarked that he wished that he were not the richest man in the world because he disliked the attention that it brought. In March 2010, Gates was the second wealthiest person after Charles Slim, but regained the top position in 2013 according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. Slim regained the position again in June 2014 but then lost of the top position back to Gates. Between 2009 and 2014, his wealth doubled from 14 billion to 82 billion. In October 2017, Gates was surpassed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos as the richest person in the world. In the first 400 list of wealthiest Americans in 2023, he was ranked sixth with a wealth of 115.5 billion. He once again became the richest person in the world in November 2019 after a 48% increase in Microsoft share. Surpassed Bezos. Gates told the BBC, "I have paid more tax than any individual ever and globally, so I have paid over 6 billion in tax." He is a proponent of higher taxes, particularly for the rich. Gates has several investments outside Microsoft, which in 2006 paid him a salary $6,60,667 and a bonus of $3,50,000 for a total of $9,66,667. In 1989, he founded Corbis, a digital imaging company. In 2004, he became a board member of Berkshire Hathaway, the investment company headed by longtime friend Warren Buffett. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe my YouTube channel.